Well, welcome in, everybody. It's about 4 o'clock on Thursday, February the 4th, and we continue to look at a well-advertised plunge into an Arctic air mass as we go towards next week. Now, there's plenty of weather to keep track of as you go through the next 4 to 5 days, but we're really looking at some abnormally cold weather that could visit Arkansas as you go towards next week. And about a week from now, we'll know if it comes to fruition or if it just missed us. As of today, it looks like it's going to get cold, and it looks like there may even be some precipitation chances as that coldest air mass is in place next week. But it's a long way out, but there is a historical precedent for why I think that. As always, follow the KATV Weather YouTube page. We'll drop these discussions anytime there's some big impactful weather headed for the state, and I do think that this could be impactful. Call it noteworthy. First, let's take a look at where our Arctic air is as of this afternoon. I started this way yesterday. Today, we've got a cold front moving across the state, but our air of concern is about 1,500 miles or so and further northwest. Negative 40s, negative 50s across northern Alaska, northern Canada. This is the source region for our air, and it is going to start its trek south over the weekend. You see temperatures only in the single digits there across North Dakota, and pretty rare for it to, this type of air mass to drop this far southeast, or at least it's supposed to as we go into next week. There is a historical precedent for this, and it is one, I showed this yesterday. January 2010, you've got troughing to the east of Arkansas, a ridge of high pressure sets up over the west, and the flow out of Canada, just unimpeded right down to the southeast, is a good recipe for the eastern half of the U.S. to get below average temperatures. And when you get below average temperatures in the winter, well, that's a good recipe for some very, very cold weather. So here's here is some analogs that I have drawn up. 12/30/2017 going into January 2018, big Arctic air outbreak. Arkansas got single digits then. February 1996, those are the two biggest Arctic air outbreaks we have had in the last 30 years, and the 500 millibar pattern is similar. For next week, assuming that this forecast somewhat verifies, the pattern is similar, and I just showed you there's a historical precedent for this. So, what's it look like? Well, I showed you this yesterday. GFS ensemble 2-meter temperature anomaly 72 hours from now. It's cold in southern Canada and the northern plains. That air mass drops off to the southeast, making it to Arkansas really by Tuesday. I think that's when most of this will begin to move in. I think northwest Arkansas may start to feel it on Monday. But for most of us in central Arkansas, maybe even points to the south, it's going to be Tuesday into Wednesday, and then that Arctic air drops in here. And it doesn't look like it wants to go anywhere as we go towards next weekend. And that's about 7 days out. That's about as far out as I'm comfortable going. But nothing has changed since yesterday. If anything, our confidence has gotten a little bit better. I also wanted to show you this. You see high pressure in Canada. Well, an Arctic air mass associated with extremely high pressure. And as we go towards Wednesday, Thursday, and into Friday of next week, that's a almost 1046 high there at the Canadian border, and high pressures of above 1030 millibars drop into Arkansas. And if we end up, this is way out there, but if we end up with a 1040 millibar high in Missouri, that is a great recipe for very cold air in Arkansas. So I will answer the question, how cold, coming up. But here's a look at the latest Euro ensemble temperature anomalies. This is averaged together over a 7-day period. And as you see, we go towards next week, and it's just 10 to 15 degrees below average. It's a very cold air mass that overspreads Arkansas as we go through next Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So you've heard all the talk. Here's some of the raw data, Euro data. It keeps us cold on Sunday, briefly warms us up on Monday, and then we start to cool off Tuesday during the day, and then it just puts us in the freezer as we go towards late next week. Remember, this is raw Euro data. Don't take it at face value, because some of these temperatures towards the end of this, they're just not realistic, because temperatures this cold just don't happen here very often. And so keep that in mind. I'll show you a realistic forecast coming up. But here's the Euro ensemble, noticeably colder than this time yesterday. It's got us in the 30s on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. It has us staying below freezing. I don't know if that's realistic yet. Remember, this is still a week out, but there certainly is some good model agreement there. You can kind of see the spread of members. That is some cold air that is headed for Arkansas. In fact, I think there's better confidence that we'll see cold air Thursday, Friday, and Saturday than what we'll see on Monday and Sunday with we're on the fringe of the air mass then. But the bottom line is the data has trended colder and more confident that cold air will visit the natural state towards the middle to end of the coming week. Here's a realistic forecast, National Weather Service blend of models as we go towards the middle to end of next week. And I think we'll see several days where highs struggle to get out of the 30s, and these numbers will slightly change. But I think right now, given that we're 5 to 7 days out from some of the coldest air, I think this is realistic. And if we get lows anything below 22, that's going to be our coldest temperature since November of 2019. So over a year since we have been this cold. That's pretty impressive. And even more impressive when you think about this is a list of consecutive days with a temperature of 40 degrees or less. Does not happen often. In fact, it's only happened when you put together 5+ days. It's only happened a handful of times since the year 2000. This is since the year 2000. You look at that temperature forecast I just showed you. If we put together 5, that's top 10 in the last 20 years. So that'd be pretty impressive. The Climate Prediction Center upping the chances for well below average temperatures. Remember, the average high in Arkansas this time of year is in the low 50s. So there's a very good chance that we are not in the low 50s as we get into next week. And that's what makes this map verify. Of course, your confidence goes up the further away from average you are. And it looks like some very cold air just going to slide right into the central United States and dip right down into Arkansas. Now, a big question we're going to get as we go through the next couple of days into next week is about precipitation. As the coldest air moves into Arkansas, and we will not operate on one single GFS or Euro model run. We'll go with ensembles. And I'm not going to show you snowfall maps, but I'm going to show you the chance for precipitation. And as you look at 24-hour precipitation among the Euro ensembles, after February 9th and between February 11th, it does show that there are going to be chances for light precipitation. Don't get caught up in the word light, because if temperatures are in the 20s and anything falls, that's a recipe for a travel headache. And we're a long way out there, but this is what I'm looking at when I'm looking to assess long-range winter precipitation chances going through Monday, Tuesday, and then late in the week. It's showing light precipitation, and this is just liquid equivalent, not showing snow or anything like that. This is just liquid equivalent of precipitation late in the week. This is for Thursday into Friday, and that right there to me is a signal that we are going to need to watch for frozen precipitation late in the week, because temperatures are going to be cold. Arctic air is going to be in place, and if we get any precipitation during that time frame, there's a good chance that it is going to be wintry. Now, the Euro, I will show you one snowfall map. Euro ensemble snowfall map as you get out to 200 hours. I think that's as comfortable as I'm going. It doesn't show anything that's noteworthy, but I would say that that is a signal that we need to watch the end of next week. So there's the realistic outlook for next week. It's going to be well below average. How cold continues to be the question, and I think while Little Rock, it's pretty rare for us to see consecutive days below freezing. I think we see several days where we stay in the 30s, and overnight's going to be very cold. Low 20s, northern Arkansas, even colder. And I think there's a good chance that we could see some wind chill advisories at some point next week, especially in northern Arkansas. So plenty to keep track of. If things continue to go the way they are, we'll do another one of these videos maybe tomorrow or this weekend. And I just wanted to break down what we're thinking as we look towards next week. I urge you to stay up to date. If you love the weather, there's a good chance that's why you found this page. And we could see some pretty cool weather next week, cold weather. It's cool to me because we don't see it often. Could be fairly extreme for some of you. So thank you for trusting the team with the most experience. We'll continue to watch the Arctic Air setup for next week, and maybe, just maybe, the chance for precipitation at some point during the week.